Hello, hello, hello. This is Shannon from Nana's Workshop, and it's Garden Talk. You guys, it's been a hot minute since I've been on. It has been a brutal summer, and this is the first day of fall. So I want to talk to you about a few things that I have been doing in the garden to prepare for winter. First of all, it's like things are still blooming. The fall mums and marigolds are still blooming, things like that, the asters. But there's other things that you can start cleaning up to kind of cut down on all that work at the final cleanup. It's going to help the plants rejuvenate, get that root energy going before the winter hits. Such as daylilies, you can pull out those hard wooden stems that are done, the stalks that the blooms are on, you can pull those out. You can pull all those dead leaves out. You can cut down or trim out any annuals that are done and spent. Anything that looks raggedy and kind of yucky, go ahead and trim them out, pull them out. Your fall fillers are going to fill in nicely. If you have ornamental grasses, your coleus, if you have that's still going pretty. The leaves are amazing. Your hostas are still going. So everything is going really well, but there's just a few things you want to start cleaning out to try and make your flower bed a little bit looks nice and kind of spruce it up again. You want to harvest your seeds, anything that you want to save, such as your coneflower heads, your cleome seeds. They come out in those little tendrils, I call them. There's just so many, oh my gosh, marigold seeds. You can start harvesting those. But my key point on that is to put them in a paper sack to let them completely dry out. Do not put them in a plastic bag because they're going to mold no matter what. Put them in a plastic or a paper sack, roll the top, staple the top, and then write on that bag what it is. That leaves, it kind of lets air in there and lets them seeds breathe a little bit and completely dry out. It doesn't hold the moisture like a plastic bag would. You're probably going to want to start digging any bulbs that are starting to fade away. Your tropicals such as cannas, calla lilies, elephant ears, what else? Dahlias. I think the dahlias are still going yet. Everything is looking really good except the calla lilies. I don't have any at this year, but I think they're starting to fade in the stems. So those would probably be okay to cut or dig out. So the process of that is any of those tropicals, such as a canna or elephant ear or a calla lily, is dig them up. This is what I do. I dig them up and I take them out to my cement pad and I hose all the bulbs off, all the roots off, let them dry out. And then I go ahead and cut those big stalks off, cut all the foliage off, so you just have those clumps of bulb. And let them sit, let them dry out, and then you can start putting them in your cellar or anywhere where it's dark and cool. I put them in a cardboard box, and I bring them out in the spring, break them apart, and they do fabulous out here in the garden. And one little bulb of a canna can produce a clump of bulbs, I'm not kidding, probably at least 2.5 feet wide, thick. And you have gajillions more bulbs to share with everybody next year. Another thing you want to start making sure you're doing, especially if you put any young trees last year or this year, start watering them. Give them a deep soak once a week. That is just laying the hose down or filling a 5-gallon bucket with holes in the bottom and filling that bucket so it just seeps down into the roots slowly. And then, or laying your hose down and let it trickle out, and you can time it for each tree, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes per tree. But you want to start deep soaking those roots now before winter, because especially if it's been a dry season, you're going to want to get that moisture in for the roots for the winter season. Otherwise, you're going to lose them for winter kill. Also, there's a lot of edible plants. If you've harvested anything throughout the summer, if you have yarrow, coneflower, nasturtium, sunflower, basil, and bee balm. All of those are edible plants. The yarrow, the seed heads, the coneflower, the leaves, the petals, sunflowers, of course, the seeds, basil leaves, of course, the leaves, and the bee balm leaves as well. You can chop all those up. Lavender, peppermint, spearmint, all of those. You can chop all those up. Again, if you want to harvest those, put them into a paper sack, staple the top, label that, let it dry out. Or if you want to harvest them and use them right away, such as nasturtium, the petals of the leaves, they taste like a peppery, they give a peppery taste. You can throw them right in your salad. You can throw any of these right in your salads right away. Make sure you rinse them well. And just like lettuce, if you clean lettuce, just rinse these things well and throw them right in your salads. They're delicious. The nasturtium petals are amazing because they're beautiful colors. They're yellows and oranges. And it's kind of a nice surprise in that salad when you're eating. You know, you see this little bit of different color, and then you have that taste of a peppery taste. It's really cool. So you might have to try that. So I think we'll do a walk through the garden, and I'm going to show you a few things about, such as the fall cleanup, harvesting your seeds, and I'll show you the clumps of the cannas. And of course, you know, you're watering but let's just take a tour. We haven't seen the garden for a while. The summer was pretty brutal on it, but you know, we tried. And so let's go ahead and walk through the garden now. Give me a minute and I will flip the camera around. But here we go. We will walk around. Also, one more thing I wanted to add, if your pots are looking sad, if they are starting to die off, go ahead and throw them in your compost pile. It is okay. Throw the whole kit and caboodle in your compost pile. Make sure you don't have no, those styrofoam peanuts or nothing like that in there. And I'm keeping my bamboo. But it's a great... Now, if you don't want seeds in there, don't throw anything like marigolds or something in there. Cut the flower heads all off and throw them all into the compost pile. Petunias have seeds, believe it or not. They will grow wild. But something like this, now the spikes might be too much harsh. It would take longer to break that down, but you can still throw them in there. Let them dry out good. You can read up on composting. As another thing here. But we're going to take a walk through the garden. This is the shade garden. As you can see, the hostas, you know, they kind of struggled this year, but they don't look too bad. They really don't look too bad. I don't water a whole lot, so I let nature take its course. I think I have hand watered once, twice at the most, and then I put the sprinkler on everything maybe twice. So that's all so far this year. This wisteria is going crazy. Look at the fingers crawling out here. This canna here, I have to say, I can sit on the deck and watch the hummingbirds come and drink out of that red flower. Hummingbirds love red. So you can see that some of these daylilies really got stressed out this year. So what I did, when I cleaned them up, like these dry ones, I would just pull them up and throw them in the compost pile. This here is a cleome. Here is something I'm going to tell you, an example of harvesting your seeds. Now, let's find one that is split open. Here we go. Now, these little things here, they're packed full of seeds. I'll try and turn that around there. There's all your seeds right there. So if you want to harvest them, and you can spread them out wherever you want in the garden next year. I have stopped deadheading my roses because if I deadhead them now, they try to start blooming again in a month or 2 to 3 weeks. Well, the frost is going to start hitting, and I just would rather have them go to the rose. There's still some blooms on there, but I'm not deadheading anymore. There's still quite a few on there, actually. Quite a few. The vinca's still looking lovely. But yeah, go in and clean up your daylilies, pull all that dead stuff out. You know, it just looks like grass. Pull that stuff out, kind of clean up your garden a little bit. These dry stalks, you can just yank on them, pull them out. The elephant ears are still looking really nice. But now I will go down and I will dig this whole clump up, rinse off the bulb, lay them out in the sun to dry off, and then I will cut all of this down. All of it down, so I only have the bulb to store. I don't have to worry about all the foliage. So we'll just take a walk around, but I'm trying to give you guys a full view here of the garden as we go. Now here's some mint that I will probably be harvesting. It's good to throw in tea, hot tea. It's really good. Your marigolds, and you can harvest these. This is a good one to take because it's completely dry. This is a good one. Take the ones that are dry clear down through the stem. You don't want to take these because they're still green. You can harvest the impatient seeds too. That takes a very patient hand. It's so hard to see the whole garden sometimes in this landscape view. But there you can see coleus right there. Now there are some, I'll show you this daylily right over here. There's a pretty mom going. Some alyssum still going. Oh yes, and the cucumber beetle is out. You see him crawling right in that plant. And you see him right there. That's the cucumber beetle. Coleus looks really nice. Like I said, some of these, they've taken a hit, and it looks like something's been munching on that. I bet it's the grasshoppers. The grasshoppers were ridiculous this year. Some vinca, and the geraniums are still blooming. There's some red coleus. See, like I said, I'm done. I could deadhead all of these because they're about spent, but I'm not going to. The asters are blooming. Okay, so here is a yellow daylily, and see how these are all dead and dried? I can just pull these out, and it kind of cleans up that plant a lot. But see all those? And you can go in and pull these dried leaves out. All these underneath. All that dry stuff. And it makes that plant look so much better. So you have a few more months to enjoy the cleaned up foliage. Now it depends on, I do not cut my grasses down. There's certain things that I will leave up. Here's some black-eyed Susan you can harvest. There's a nice seed head right there. But during the things that I leave up for the winter are, well, of course, all the shrubs. I will leave the rose bushes up. I will cut them back in the spring. The grasses, anything, sometimes even the asters or the mums, I will leave up and the autumn joy sedums I will leave up because the birds have some seeds to eat. So you have some winter interest as well. The grasses and some of the branching plants look really nice during the winter time when it snows. And yes, I I got to do some cleaning on my pond. My lilies are flipped over, but looks like I need to clean the filter and clean up some water. There's some mums there. We still have morning glory. There's another thing you can harvest is morning glory seed. Black-eyed Susan vine seed. But you can read up on the edibles and harvesting seed. All these will come out. And I don't know what this year I have, or next year I'll have planned for this area. I'm not sure. But here's a whole bunch of coneflowers. This is a red, almost a sunset red. And so I will be harvesting all of these. They're just this seed head, everything right there. That's gajillionus' seeds. See them popping off? Yes. I still love that petunia. It's beautiful. And there's more back there. Elephant ear. A different variety. Lissam's looking good this time of year. This vinca's still going. There's some more marguerite daisies. But here's some dahlias. See, they're still blooming. So I won't be digging up my dahlia yet. Pretty geraniums. I might dig my geraniums out. Now, you can read up on geraniums and how to overwinter them. Sometimes people put them in a pot and go ahead and grow them inside in a sunny window. Other ways of doing it is, I heard, dig them out, hang them upside down, or put them in paper sacks. And so there's all kinds of different ways. So I might try and save some of these. Also, what you can do is you can snip off a branch. You can see this right here. You can snip that off actually and put it right in the pot, and it should start to re-root. My sumac is starting to change colors. This is a tiger eye. This actually turns a pinkish. Oh, there's a hummingbird moth. See if I can zoom in on him. It's a hummingbird moth. A lot of people think it's a hummingbird, but it's a moth. Now, moss rose is another one you can harvest. These flowers right here. I will pinch this one open. And see all those? Those are seeds. All these little flower heads, those are all seeds. So you can harvest them as well if you have a favorite. There's more coneflower back there. Some of the ones, I just love that color of impatient. It's just beautiful. Some of the ones that you think or you feel like these garden phlox. I mean, I can come in and actually cut all that off. There's seed heads in there too. But the back one's still blooming. But those cannas, look how tall they are. They're reaching my roof of my garage. And now the passion flower vines, I will, look at this guy's snuck over here. I will dig them up. There's two main plants, one on this side and one on that side. I will dig them up and repot them, trim them all back, and put them on my front porch for the winter, which is heated. And I will be able to save them. Otherwise, I have to rebuy them because I am in a zone 4 or 5, and they are considered more of a, well, I don't know. I would say 5, 6. You see my kitty back here? He is sneaking around. Where you at? You gonna say hi? You gonna say hi? Hi, buddy. Yoshi. Yoshi. Say hello to Yoshi. But there we go, guys. Let's go around. I want to show you the hibiscus because there are different kinds of hibiscus. There's different kinds of clematis. There's actually 3 types, and I think this sweet autumn clematis you cut down in the spring. This one you cut down in the spring. That's Jack Manny. And I had one over here which was Niobe, that was back here, and you actually had to cut that one back in the fall, but I lost him. So now you have different types of hibiscus. And look at these. They're still blooming. They're gorgeous. Look at that flower. Some leave seed pods and some don't. This one does not. See the empty? This one over here, oh, wait. So this one over here does. But you can see all the seeds inside there. So you can harvest those seeds as well and share with your friends. The only thing is, now this one does not have seed heads. Just dries up like this and has that. So, they're beautiful. They're still blooming. So pretty. Now when you plant your hibiscus seed, you have to be patient. There is some silver mound. Carl Forster grass. I love it, especially in the fall. We'll walk around, back around into the garden. The hibiscus seed, you have to be patient with because they are slow growers and they are fall bloomers. So when you start that seed, make sure you do the prep the right way and you read up on that. Make sure you do it correctly and don't give up on it, because don't throw them out. If they're not growing in June, just wait, because they could start growing in August, September, October. But then take your, you got to keep them inside and keep them babied. You got to keep them growing for the following year. Sometimes they take a little longer. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much. Let me move my thumb, and the wisteria vine's going to get me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you tune in next time and follow me on Nana's Workshop here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and I also have a website at http://nanasworkshop.com. So you guys, thanks again for joining me. This is Garden Talk, the fall session. So next time I will probably be digging things out and cleaning it out, and you'll see it kind of flat. There won't be all this jungle back here. But one final look. You guys have a great night. God bless.